Pennsylvania is working on the final vote tally for the presidential race. Polling officials counted the remaining 488,000 ballots into the early hours of this morning, according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette.
And now the Trump campaign is suing Pennsylvania, along with Michigan and Georgia, now added to the list this morning, Nevada, to try to halt the vote count in those states. Pennsylvania Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman joins us now for an update on the situation, a look at the election overall. It's so great to have you back, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Good to see you, sir.
Thank you.
What can you tell us as of this morning, where the vote count stands, where you think it's headed, and also if you see any merit to the Trump campaign's lawsuit?
Sure. Well, I think that it needs to be emphasized that we just undertook the largest election in terms of turnout in our state's history. And we did it for the first time on that massive scale using mail-in ballots. And everything performed beautifully. We had the smoothest election in Pennsylvania recent memory, according to our governor, and I share his opinion on that. And where it's going is probably a direction that the president doesn't much care for. And that's why you have him engaging in a lot of ridiculous, outlandish litigation. And I would just urge him. It's just, it's not a good look. It's just, it's not dignified. And it's, math is math. And all he needs to do is know that we're going to count every vote. And that's the law. And that's going to happen. And he can trust the math because that's the way it's going to go.
So here's my question, sir. Can you actually tell us how many more outstanding ballots they have left to count? It's a number that I haven't really been able to get a good handle on. And I know you're not involved directly in the count or anything, but do you have a rough idea of when we might have results?
Yeah, I certainly would never get out in front of our Secretary of State, and she indicated that it could be finished as early as this evening. Mm-hmm. And what I do know is that Allegheny County is finished. Montgomery County is finished. And right there, that's number 2 and number 3, respectively, in terms of our county sizes in Pennsylvania. I know Luzerne is running ahead of schedule. I know there are other counties that are spread throughout Pennsylvania that are counting on theirs. They're much smaller, but that is also another cache of outstanding mail-in ballots, as well as what we have left in Philadelphia. So I would estimate it as several 100,000, and they are breaking in a very robust direction for the vice president.
Got it.
Zooming out from the specifics of the vote counting in what has come to be really the key state that everybody's eyes are on today, your state of Pennsylvania, what do you make of the election results overall? On the one hand, look, Joe Biden, you'd rather be him today than Donald Trump, certainly. It looks like if things continue in the trends that you're describing and that most analysts are seeing, looks like he will have the votes in order to get to that 270 electoral college victory. He also won, significant popular vote totals, will have won the most votes in history. So a lot to be proud of there. But on the other hand, you see this shifting alignment of demographics where the Democratic Party is becoming more and more centered around the suburbs, more and more centered around affluent Americans, and some working class Americans, including people of color, drifting more towards the GOP. As someone who has deep ties in the kind of blue collar community, what do you think of those demographic trends? What do you make of that?
Well, I think what really needs to be said is that the vice president ran a really great campaign, and he's competing against a singularly unique political figure in the president. I have been warning for weeks, if not months, here in Pennsylvania that this race was going to be tough and tight. And I think I was the only Democrat in Pennsylvania that was saying that. The president did what he needed to do in Pennsylvania, and that's why I have to say, I've seen margins over 80% in some of these counties. That's extraordinary. So he was able to drive those margins up, and that's why he's been so competitive.
And what do you think is the nature? What do you think is the nature of that appeal, and why you see those voters in certain cases moving from a longtime home in the Democratic Party to back Donald Trump?
Yeah, I'm sure there's any number of reasons why they're doing it. I certainly wouldn't want to speak to them. But what I can say is that it's undeniable. And it's something that I've witnessed time and time again. And he demonstrated it. And that's why it's strange to me that, after running, as good a race as you could in Pennsylvania, whether it was winnable or not, we'll never know. But he ran it as well as he could. It's just, again, so profoundly undignified now to be flailing about, dispatching, sad carnival barkers like Rudy Giuliani to some random corner in Philadelphia trying to say ridiculous stuff. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. The math is coming, and it could work on your favor, but it most likely won't. But our results are going to be true, and they're going to be fair. And this was a safe election that will produce the democratic will of our Commonwealth.
Well, we really appreciate you joining us, sir. Thank you for your insight.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. We appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
Tomorrow in Rising, we're going to continue our post-election analysis. Well, is it really post-election? I think it's still election ongoing analysis with journalist and editor-at-large with Jagman David Sirota. Also, Democratic strategist Roger Fisk and writer for the Washington Examiner Tom Rogan are going to make up our super panel. Obviously, it's going to be fantastic.
That's right. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our videos. Don't forget to like and share as well. And we will see you guys tomorrow.
Have a great day, guys.